bro.
And it was a penalty.
I beat him on the cleanest inside last series. Jordan! Jordan, run!
Is that what the tackle said?
Yes.
In the big game between the Cleveland Browns and the undefeated Green Bay Packers, Myles Garrett did something amazing. He hit a player so hard that the Packers line couldn't stop him at all. Everyone watching was shocked and even laughing at how unstoppable he was. On the sidelines, people couldn't believe how powerful Garrett was, and now everyone knows why he's one of the scariest players in the NFL. Late in Sunday's game, the Packers were lining up, hoping to hold on to their slim lead, but Garrett had other plans. In a blink, he burst past tackle Rasheed Walker and stormed into the backfield. The sideline microphone caught the soundbite that instantly went viral. "Jordan, run!" Walker shouted in panic as he was completely overpowered. It wasn't just a sack attempt. It was a moment of raw power that sent a message to the entire league. Even though quarterback Jordan Love managed to escape the hit, the visual of Walker getting bulldozed and yelling in fear told a bigger story. Facing Garrett isn't just hard, it's downright terrifying. What made the moment even more iconic was Garrett's reaction. Cameras later caught him on the bench, laughing with teammates and retelling the hilarious moment. It was clear that he wasn't just dominating on the field, he was enjoying every second of it. This wasn't trash talk, it was swagger, confidence, and it was well earned. The Browns' defense was suffocating all game, and Garrett was at the center of it. While the offense stumbled, the defense, led by number 95, kept the game within reach, waiting for the offense to find life. Containing Myles Garrett is a full-time job. On Sunday, it became obvious that Green Bay wasn't up for the challenge. Garrett consistently blew past blockers, pressured Jordan Love, and disrupted the run game. His speed off the edge, combined with his raw strength, made him nearly unblockable. Even when he didn't record a sack, Garrett's presence forced rush throws and broken plays. It wasn't just about stats, it was about disruption. That one viral play? It summed up an entire afternoon of frustration for the Packers. In a season where the Browns' offense has struggled to find rhythm, the defense has emerged as their identity. And Myles Garrett is the beating heart of that unit. The Browns know they're not going to win shootouts. Their game plan is to keep scores low and let the defense win battles in the trenches. The Packers entered the game undefeated. By the end, they looked rattled. Garrett's performance wasn't just entertaining, it was game-changing. His relentless pressure helped set the stage for a fourth-quarter comeback that no one saw coming. It's easy to overlook the kicker after a highlight like Garrett's, but another key storyline came to life in the same game. Rookie kicker Andre Smeat, who had been nearly run out of town after a rough start, became the unlikely hero. After missing critical kicks in Week 1, Smeat nailed a 35-yarder to tie the game and then hit a stunning 55-yard field goal to win it. The same fans who once doubted him were now celebrating him, and Myles Garrett took notice. "He knows who he island, and one moment doesn't define you," Garrett said after the game. "He made the most of it, and we're very proud of him." That quote says a lot about Garrett's role as a leader, not just a playmaker, but someone who understands the mental game and supports teammates when it matters most. What makes Myles Garrett so special is that his impact can't be measured just by sacks. He changes the way offenses play, he commands double teams, he alters blocking schemes, and he creates opportunities for others on the defense to shine. Against Green Bay, the ripple effect was obvious. With Garrett drawing attention, other defenders had more freedom to rush, cover, and pressure. It's no coincidence that Cleveland's defense looked sharper, faster, and more confident when Garrett was on the field. He's not just a star, he's a system disruptor. This win didn't just hand the Packers their first loss, it gave the Browns a massive morale boost. It proved that their defense can carry them in big games. It showed that Smeat can deliver under pressure. And it reminded the league that Myles Garrett is a one-man wrecking crew. In a tough AFC North division, wins like these are critical. They send a message. The Browns aren't here to be anyone's punching bag. They're here to hit back hard. It also gives the coaching staff more flexibility. Knowing the defense can create game-changing moments allows Kevin Stefanski to manage the offense more conservatively if needed. It's a luxury few teams have. It also sets a tone for the younger players on the roster. Seeing a leader like Garrett perform with that intensity and focus teaches rookies and second-year players what it takes to succeed in the NFL. Culture matters, and Garrett is helping to build one in Cleveland.
After the clip went viral, social media exploded. Memes, GIFs, and reaction videos flooded the timeline. Fans called it the quote of the year and praised Garrett for turning a routine pressure into a viral masterpiece. NFL shows replayed the moment endlessly. Analysts broke down the play frame by frame, and even non-football fans were talking about it. It was a reminder of how a single, unscripted moment can capture the drama, power, and humor of the NFL all at once. It also sparked a larger discussion about Garrett's place among the league's elite defenders. Is he the best edge rusher in the NFL right now? Many fans and experts believe so, and plays like this only strengthen that argument. At this point in his career, Myles Garrett is no longer just a star. He's building a legacy. With every game, he adds to a resume that already includes All-Pro honors, Pro Bowl appearances, and jaw-dropping highlights. Games like this, where his performance is undeniable and unforgettable, are what make Hall of Fame cases. Garrett isn't just playing for this season, he's putting together a body of work that will be talked about long after he retires. His presence on the Browns has also elevated the entire franchise. Before Garrett, Cleveland's defense wasn't feared. Now, they're a unit that no quarterback looks forward to facing. That kind of transformation doesn't come from coaching alone, it comes from a generational talent. And perhaps most importantly, Garrett is doing all this without chasing attention. He lets his play, and occasionally a perfectly timed viral moment, do the talking. The Packers came into this game riding high. They left with a loss and a viral clip that will live online forever. And at the center of it all was Myles Garrett, laughing on the bench after yet another dominant display. He didn't just beat the offensive line, he humiliated them, and in doing so, reminded the entire NFL that when number 95 is coming, you better have more than just one lineman ready. Garrett, the first overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, has steadily climbed the ranks of elite defenders. Coming out of Texas A&M as a unanimous All-American, he immediately made an impact with the Browns. His resume includes 6 Pro Bowl nods, 4 first-team All-Pro selections, and the 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year award. His athletic background is also worth noting. Garrett was a multi-sport athlete in high school and set records in shot put and discus. That raw athleticism has translated into the NFL, where his blend of speed and strength makes him one of the most feared pass rushers in the game. Before the second half started, Garrett reportedly told his teammates they would win. "If I believe, the guys around me are going to believe," he said post-game. That belief led to a dominant defensive performance, a blocked field goal, and a clutch interception that helped set up the game-tying touchdown. The Browns delivered, and Garrett once again proved why he's the cornerstone of Cleveland's defense and possibly the best defensive player in the league.
And on first down, Burrow under pressure, down he goes! Guess who?
Week 1 of the 2025 NFL season was supposed to be a fresh start for the Cleveland Browns. New quarterback, renewed optimism, home field. And for much of the game, it looked like they might finally kick things off with a statement win. But as the scoreboard showed a 17-16 final in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals, one truth remained impossible to ignore: Myles Garrett is still that guy. The 2025 NFL season began at Huntington Bank Field, where the Cleveland Browns hosted the Cincinnati Bengals. For most of the game, the Browns looked like the better team. The defense forced pressure, slowed Burrow's passing attack, and created chances to control the game. Yet, mistakes on offense erased all that effort. 2 costly turnovers from veteran quarterback Joe Flacco stalled drives and gifted momentum back to Cincinnati. Those errors proved too much to overcome, and Cleveland started its season in disappointment. But while the scoreboard delivered bad news, one player's performance stood tall above the loss. Myles Garrett reminded everyone why he is the Browns' foundation. From the first snap, Garrett was relentless. The defensive end finished his night with 5 total tackles, 3 quarterback hits, 5 pressures, and 2 sacks on Joe Burrow. His timing was perfect, his speed off the edge was sharp, and his energy never wavered. Each snap looked like a chance for Garrett to make something happen. Those 2 sacks against Burrow weren't ordinary plays, they were tone-setting moments. With each takedown, the Cleveland crowd roared, and the Bengals' offensive line looked rattled. By the end of the night, Garrett had boosted his career total against Burrow to 12 sacks in 9 matchups, proof of a rivalry where one defender clearly has the edge. Since entering the league, Garrett has been a model of consistency. Beginning in 2018, he has delivered double-digit sack seasons every single year. His peak production came in 2021 and 2022, when he hit 16 sacks in back-to-back campaigns. Now, in his 9th season, Garrett is showing that he has no plans of slowing down. Week 1 put him on track to continue that streak with authority. Even more impressive is Garrett's steady rise on the all-time sack list. Sunday's performance lifted his career total to 104.5, enough to tie him with Kevin Carter and Neil Smith for 53rd place in NFL history. That milestone is a reminder that Garrett is not only one of today's best, but also climbing into the company of legends. For the Browns, this game could have been a statement win. Cincinnati entered the night with questions about its offensive consistency and a history of early season struggles. The Bengals had dropped 2 straight season openers coming into 2025, including one against Cleveland in 2023. The Browns had the chance to extend that streak but let it slip away. Still, even in defeat, Garrett's performance shone as the clear silver lining. His relentless effort turned what could have been a forgettable night into a showcase of defensive dominance. The Browns' offense may have faltered, but their defensive leader reminded the league of his unique value. Without Garrett's disruption, the loss could have been far worse. Garrett's dominance carries extra weight considering his recent history with the franchise. Only a short time ago, he was vocal about considering a departure from Cleveland. Years of losing seasons, shaky offense, and wasted defensive effort left him frustrated. Fans wondered if they had seen the last of their superstar in brown and orange. But the Browns stepped up. Ahead of this season, the team secured Garrett with a massive contract extension, guaranteeing his future in Cleveland and signaling a commitment to build around him. The Rays changed Garrett's outlook, turning doubts into long-term stability. For the fans, it meant one thing: no matter what else happens, they have a generational star locked in. Sunday's performance proved why that extension mattered. Even in a game where his team's offense failed to deliver when needed, Garrett gave everything. He pushed, fought, and created opportunities that kept Cleveland within striking distance. That type of leadership cannot be bought cheaply. It has to be earned through years of play, and Garrett has done just that. On the other sideline, Cincinnati left with a win but not much comfort. The Bengals were far from dominant. Burrow looked uneasy under pressure, their offensive line cracked repeatedly, and their usually explosive offense never fully clicked. Without the Browns' mistakes, Cincinnati could have easily walked away 0-1 for the 3rd straight season. For Burrow, the constant presence of Garrett was a nightmare. Every time he dropped back, he had to adjust, hurry his release, or absorb a hit. Facing Garrett has become a familiar problem for him, and it continues to tilt games in Cleveland's favor, even when the Browns cannot capitalize. One of the most compelling stories in the AFC North is the personal battle between Garrett and Burrow. Garrett has faced plenty of quarterbacks, but against Burrow, he seems to reach another gear. 12 sacks in 9 games is not an accident, it's a pattern, and it highlights just how difficult life is for Cincinnati whenever Garrett is on the other side of the line. For fans, this duel has become a highlight of Browns-Bengals matchups. Each time these teams meet, the question isn't just about the final score, it's whether Burrow can finally escape Garrett's grip. So far, the defender continues to write his dominance into the rivalry's history. As Garrett enters the middle stretch of his career, legacy starts to matter. Every sack, every milestone, every performance like this pushes him closer to Hall of Fame conversations. In the hours after the game, reactions poured in. Browns fans were torn between anger at the loss and pride in Garrett's brilliance. Social media lit up with clips of his sacks, slow-motion replays of his hits, and graphics celebrating his move up the all-time list. Even rival fans admitted that Garrett's performance was something special. For Cleveland supporters, the message was clear. Their star defender is still at the top of his game, and for a franchise often weighed down by struggles, that kind of certainty means everything. The Browns don't have much time to focus on the loss. The season is long, and bigger tests are coming. The offense must correct its mistakes quickly, or else more wasted defensive efforts could follow. Joe Flacco needs sharper decision-making, and the playmakers around him must step up. But while questions linger on offense, one answer is already clear. Garrett will bring it every week. He's already in mid-season form. He's already disrupting quarterbacks. He's already chasing another double-digit sack year. The rest of the team has to match his standard. If they do, Cleveland can still make this season one to remember. Week 1 of the 2025 NFL season may not have ended in victory for the Browns, but it reminded the league of something vital. Myles Garrett is still a force of nature. He showed that he remains among the NFL's elite. Cleveland's offense has work to do. Their path forward depends on fixing turnovers and finding rhythm, but their defense, led by Garrett, is already ready for the challenge. He isn't just chasing numbers, he's chasing greatness. The league has been warned, Garrett is coming, and this story, it's just getting started.
I actually watch to see who he goes and celebrates with. Because what did I do? I looked for my offensive lineman every time. I went down and celebrated in the end zone with my teammates every time. I wanted everyone to feel like they were part of the success. I told the linemen, we're all running into the end zone and we're celebrating as a team. Because I think that's way more intimidating than a quarterback doing his six-shooter guns and pointing up in the crowd and doing all that other bullshit that's very self-promotional, but it's not about winning.
Tom Brady has shocked the NFL. His new comments about quarterbacks have fans, players, and reporters all talking. Some say he was aiming at Shedeur Sanders, but this story is bigger than one player. It's about respect, style, and what football should look like today. Tom Brady is a 7-time Super Bowl champion, a Hall of Fame lock, and for years, the face of the NFL. But his recent remarks turned him into the center of controversy. In an interview with Chris Collinsworth, Brady was asked how he judges quarterbacks. His answer caught everyone's attention. Brady explained that he values quarterbacks who celebrate with teammates instead of showing off. He said that kind of behavior shows respect for the players who made the touchdown possible. To him, celebrating with linemen was always more powerful than flashy solo moves. He never mentioned Shedeur Sanders, but the connection was clear. Sanders, son of Deion, Coach Prime Sanders, is known for his bold wrist flex celebration. To some, Brady's comments sounded like an old-school critique of today's players. To others, it felt deeper, a shot at young black quarterbacks who bring personality and branding to the game. Brady's critique came during Monday's sit-down with Collinsworth. He said he watches quarterbacks closely, not just how they throw, but how they act after scoring. When a quarterback throws a touchdown pass, I actually watch to see who he goes and celebrates with. I looked for my offensive lineman every time, he said. That was a clear message about teamwork. But Brady didn't stop there. He mocked the flashy celebrations common in today's NFL. A quarterback doing his six-shooter guns and pointing up in the crowd and doing all that other bull's tea, that's very self-promotional, he said. Many fans immediately pointed to Shedeur Sanders, the Cleveland Browns rookie. Sanders has built a bold image. His 2 legendary brand, his draft party in Texas, and his on-field swagger all show confidence. Brady's choice of words made it sound personal. Brady's approach fit his career. He was known for controlled celebrations and a laser focus on the team. But football has changed. Players like Sanders connect with fans through expression. Shedeur Sanders isn't just any rookie. At 23, he entered the NFL with enormous expectations, thanks to his father, Deion Sanders, and his standout college career. He also brought a level of confidence that not everyone appreciated. Sanders skipped the 2025 NFL draft ceremony in Green Bay, choosing instead to host his own party in Canton, Texas. He arrived wearing his own brand, 2 legendary, and surrounded himself with family, friends, and fans. That same swagger shows up on the field. His watch flex has already become one of the most talked about celebrations in football. The Raiders, where Brady is now a minority owner, passed on Sanders multiple times before trading for Geno Smith. Sanders eventually fell to the Browns in the 5th round, pick 144. Some wonder if Brady's preference for team-first quarterbacks influenced those decisions. Now Sanders enters the NFL as the Browns' 3rd-string quarterback, behind Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. His playing time might be limited, but his presence is impossible to ignore. For fans, Sanders represents a new kind of quarterback, flashy, confident, and unafraid to stand out. For Brady, that style seems to cross the line. The reaction to Brady's comments was swift. Many fans accused him of targeting black quarterbacks who use celebrations to express themselves. Analysts brought up not only Shedeur Sanders but also Deshaun Watson and others known for their showmanship. Critics argued Brady's words carried a double standard. White quarterbacks who celebrated with energy were often praised as fiery leaders, but when black quarterbacks celebrated with flair, they were called selfish. This pattern has existed for decades across sports, from Cam Newton's dab dance to Colin Kaepernick's protest. Brady may have intended to emphasize teamwork, but mocking these gestures came across as dismissive. Social media debates exploded. Some fans defended Brady, saying he was promoting a team-first attitude. Others accused him of being out of touch with a new generation of players. The controversy shows how celebrations aren't just about football, they're about identity. For many black quarterbacks, they are a way to show pride and connect with fans. By criticizing them, Brady walked into a much larger debate than he may have expected. Brady's comments struck a nerve because they tie into a bigger issue in the NFL: how black quarterbacks are judged. For years, they faced more scrutiny than their white counterparts. Critics often question their leadership, their style, and their celebrations. The history is clear. Cam Newton's dances drew outrage. Colin Kaepernick's protests nearly ended his career. Meanwhile, white quarterbacks who showed emotion, like Brett Favre celebrating wildly, were often praised as